because I always hear you talk. I always hear you talk now, and
Yeah.
you always say, "Oh, he's better than me." You know, he's
Yes.
so hard. You seem to have great admiration for him. But I want to actually, and
Yeah.
I know you always answer honestly, but when you went into that fight, I believe that David Haye thought that he was much better than you, and that's what actually was his downfall because he didn't give you credit for how good you were. And was there a part
Mm.
of you that thought he was better than what he was? Do you generally now have more admiration for him than before you fought him? Do you know what I mean? Did you think he was?
Yes.
I think
I do, I do, because I know how good he is, and I know how dangerous he is. He's still the hardest person I've ever been hit by in my life, without a shadow of a doubt. After the first fight, I had a headache for 4 or 5 days. That wasn't going away. Uh, I just, I've got no problem in saying he's better than me. He's going to go down better than me. He's been undisputed cruiserweight champion. He's been former heavyweight champion of the world. But styles make fights. Just because he's better than me, it doesn't mean I can't beat him. It's just the way it goes, mate. And I understand that with boxing. There's fighters who he's beaten who I wouldn't have beat. So I think personally, for me, someone like a Jean-Marc Mormec was an absolute nightmare. Trying to keep him off would have been an absolute nightmare. I need to make you miss, make you pay, and I could do that with David, especially when he went to heavyweight. Once he went to heavyweight, it's a different kind of fight for me. Don't get me wrong, I still think I could have beat any version of David Haye because I can always make him miss. I was used to fighting quick, light heavyweights, and David's greatest attribute is his speed and his power. If his speed doesn't work, he's lost. If he can't hit you clean, that's the way to tire him. He's an unbelievable explosive fighter, but it's only good if he can land a punch. Now, I wasn't catching me clean, mate, because, as I say, I was used to fighting faster guys, and then because I could also punch myself and he's vulnerable, it was a perfect match for me. I always knew it, and even going into that first fight when Eddie thought I'd lose, I told him I'd win. I told everybody who listened. I even explained in detail how I'd win. And I kept drumming it into David all through the build-up. Just don't quit. Just don't quit. And I'm convinced that's why he didn't. Because anyone in the right mind, he should have just said, everyone see me just burst me Achilles tendon. I'll have you a rematch. That's enough. But purely because I kept saying to him in the build-up, don't you quit, David. When it gets tough, don't you quit. He absorbed it let me know that everything I'd said to him he'd absorbed, and he took it on, because in hindsight he should have just said that's enough. He took an absolute pasting. Mate, he's so brave, and my admiration levels go up for him so much because he basically had one leg and I pounded his head all over that ring, mate. I'm telling you.
Oh, then my leg went, and I was like, "Why has he not said anything?" Because I'll be honest with you, Tony, I thought you were going to lose that first one. I just didn't see.
Yeah,
I just didn't
I understand.
get beat by. I know how good you are, but I just didn't see
Yeah,
how we could get beat by you.
how I could beat him. I know.
You'd have beaten with his legs right anyway.
I know.
Looking back on it now, and
It's just styles, mate. It's crazy. You know what, Bri? I understood why everyone picked him. Because you look at him and he looks like a Hulk. He looks like the Hulk. It's as simple as that. He looks unbelievable, doesn't he? And he's come back from, he'd been out the ring for a couple of years, but when he came back against them two heavyweights, he just obliterated them. And everyone was like, wow, David Haye's back. Look at the shape he's in. He's gained 2 stone of muscle and he just looks unbelievable. And then you've got me. I look like Mr. Soft. And yes, I'm WBC world champion, but no one cares because all everyone can see is this fella in front of me, and we're stood next to each other on the scales, and it looks like a normal everyday fella who's in half decent shape against a fucking mountain of muscle who's like Superman. So just going off the looks, I understood why people, and then when you look at people why the boxing world picked him and the boxing fraternity all picked him, I understood why they picked him, because he's so good at what he does. But you can't just look at what someone's so good at and then detract from the other person. I was in the form of my life winning that WBC cruiserweight belt, and I'd absolutely smashed BJ Flores' best mate in front of him. I was dreadful in that fight, but just watch the fights back previously. The Masterneck fight was a defining fight in my career. Then the McCarby fight, then the Flores fight, then I go into the Haye fight, and I'm comfortable at the weight. I'm strong, and going to heavyweight for me, it wasn't like going to heavyweight for him. He went to heavyweight, gained 2 stone of muscle. It's so hard to compete and keep doing what you're doing. And I knew, I said it all in the build-up, you've got 6 rounds, lad. You've got 6 rounds in you, and then your ass is mine. And I just knew as long as I stayed out the way of that big right hand in them first 6, I was going to be all right, mate. And thankfully it worked out all right. But I do have so much admiration for him. I'm so grateful. There's no two ways about it. If David didn't choose me for that first fight, and I'm not stupid enough, he chose me because he thought I was an easy touch. There's no two ways about that. But if he didn't choose me, I'd still be fighting right now, because I would never have been able to be financially secure the way it worked out in the end. So, you know, as I've said before, and I'll say it again, on numerous occasions I've said this, the first David Haye fight earned me 5 times more than all my career combined. 4 times, sorry. You know, my whole career combined 4 times over. Yeah. That's how much that first David Haye fight brought me in. And I was just like, wow, this is insane. And then I always remember Eddie phoning me up and saying, telling the money's about to drop, and he said, get ready. He said, call me as soon as this happens. He said, call me tomorrow. And he said why? And then I phoned him the next day, and he said, you're a millionaire now, mate, well done. Well, he said, you're a multi-millionaire. And I said, nice one, lad. We've swam the channel.
Every credit, no one deserves it more, mate. And I've got to say, having met both you and David Haye, you can sit there and say he looks like a Hulk and you look like, you know, a bloke in decent shape. You're much scarier in person. Much scarier in person.